Ms. Kimball. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Wardine Alexander, Chair of the Utilities Technology Committee meeting, and I call to order our meeting for Tuesday, July 20th. I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's meeting. It's so happy to see everyone in person. This is our first in-person meeting and for quite some time, and so I'm excited that we're all here and able to greet each other in person. We do not have any minutes that are ready for approval at this time, so I would like to go ahead and start with new business. And our first order of business is discussion of the Birmingham franchise agreement between Spectrum. And I believe, Attorney King, we do have someone to here to speak to us of that item.
Yes, we have Attorney Sheffield who is present.
Hi, Attorney Sheffield. They tell me there's a little bit of an echo. You might feel like you're a little in church when you're standing back there, but thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Attorney Sheffield, Office of the City Attorney. So I wanted to kind of update the committee on the progress of a renewal of our franchise agreement with Spectrum. Our prior agreement expired in 2009, and the law has changed since then a little bit with FCC's regulations have changed with the issuance of their Section 621 order in 2019, altering what a city could charge in terms of franchise fee, specifically that in-kind services provided to a city would go against the franchise fee or could be offset against the franchise fee.
Okay.
Spectrum was very patient with the city in terms of allowing for not offsetting those charges, even though they could, beginning in 2019, but began negotiations to renegotiate the franchise agreement, not only because it had expired, but also there had been a change in regulations. So we worked collectively with Spire in order to get an agreement in place that not only reflects the current regulations, but also anticipates, should there be a regulatory change, we'll be able to renegotiate that at that time. This is limited to a 5-year agreement, which is a little less than the normal, but we did extensive work on freshening up the language of the 2009 agreement to make it not only up to date in terminology and in terms of law, but also giving us the ability to go forward a lot easier next time it comes up for renewal. This agreement can actually be advanced pursuant to our cable ordinance. We're very fortunate. It's under section 12-3.9-35, which is an alternate renewal method. That's kind of a short form, quick renewal that's actually afforded under the Cable Communications Policy Act. It's section 6.6H, and the city adopted that provision for our own cable ordinance. And that's just since it's a renewal, it's kind of a quick process. It's still going to require, there's some requirements in terms of publication, availability for public comment, publication, that sort of thing. But it's outlined in the ordinance and as well as in the Cable Communication Policy Act. And it's something I think that we could relatively quickly do and get this executed in place.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any questions, Councilor Williams, former Attorney Sheffield?
Yeah, so thank you for being here, Attorney Sheffield. So can you go over the actual purpose of this agreement in terms of, I know that we've talked about telecommunications and other services. When we say other services, is that defined, and is there a plan to market that to the public?
So, yes, it's a good question. The agreement with Spectrum is specific to cable franchises, cable services.
Okay.
So I think that there's another agreement that's for consideration by the committee today that deals with telecommunication services and other services, but not cable services.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
This one is exclusively for the provision of cable services, and it basically is a refreshing of our 2009 agreement, or the franchise agreement with Spectrum.
And so I know that this agreement is way off in terms of
timeliness.
Is there a reason that we're renewing it so late?
Yeah, Yeah, so it was a 10-year agreement from 2009. It expired in 2019. Almost contemporaneous with that was a regulatory change. The FCC issued a 621 order, which basically, and then there was immediate litigation in the Sixth Circuit in regards to, whether that, whether that would stand or not. The recommendation from outside counsel, industry counsel, as well as the Alabama League of Municipalities was kind of wait to see how this new regulatory change was going to be accepted. So it's relatively settled now, although there's been some recent action in May of this year which overturned a provision of that 621 order. So in drafting of this agreement, that's why we added some flexibility. So should the regulations change, either there's a vacancy on the commission right now on the FCC. Obviously, there's administration change in Washington right now. There's pending litigation still because of the Sixth Circuit decision. So there's a potential that it's going to change again. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to refresh it. We waited from 2019 until now, basically because of industry guidance and counsel was telling us to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I do have one question. I wanted to ask about Section 6 under the Access and Public Community Benefits program that's established. I know we have can you give me just some information on any changes with the PEG channel or access there? Because so many of our residents rely on that. So just wanted to see, in this contractual agreement, has anything changed?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question, because that was one of the big changes under the 621 order. Previously, PEG channel operation was provided free to the city. In the 2019 regulatory changes, that was one of the things that was considered in-kind services and no longer, that could be offset against the franchise fee of the city. So we did revisions to Section 6 consistent with that. And there was different iterations of this agreement, although, and I don't know if maybe Spectrum would like to speak to exactly what they're proposing in terms of the provision. There's some things that are in a PEG channel that are operational in nature, and some that are capital improvement, capital costs. Some are allowed, some are not. And I know that Spectrum has representatives here. They may want to speak to exactly their plan for the city's PEG channel.
Thank you very much. And I will allow Spectrum and Mr. Smith to come up and just give any information that he wanted to share from the Spectrum side. I do want to thank you in the Office of the City Attorney and for the work that you've done on this particular piece of legislation or agreement that we are proposing here to enter in. As you can see, 2009 up to 2019. I appreciate Spectrum as well as the city that we've continued to operate outside of that original agreement. So thank you for the hard work you've done on this. I know we've had several reiterations and back and forth, so I am very thankful to the city attorney and for your help for being sure that we got to this point. So thank you, and Attorney King. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Smith, I would like to ask you to come up, and if you could just state your name and the service you provide with Spectrum, and if you just wanted to reiterate any more on this agreement and the work that's been done so far.
Thank you. My name is Robert Smith, Senior Manager of Government Relations for Charter Communications / Spectrum. And I too want to thank Attorney Sheffield, Attorney King for getting us to this point. Early on, I was probably a little hostile in getting us to this point, so all attempts are down now. But anyway, thank you for getting us here. We've wanted to get this franchise agreement done. Our company, Charter, has grown quite a bit in my 27 years here. We've gone from Time Warner to Bright House Networks, where Charter bought Time Warner and Bright House Networks to make us the second largest communication company providing video and all. So we wanted to make sure we have an active agreement and a good relationship with the city of Birmingham. And I think we do have a good relationship. We just need a document that said to our corporate offices that are several pay grades ahead of me that we do have that relationship. So I'm glad we've gotten to this point. The PEG channel, as we've been talking about, and it's probably been a bone of contention for a long time, a lot has changed in the last 30 years as far as communications and what happens with delivering information to your constituents. You know, when I first started here, there was a production studio, you could see anything. Every church was on TV, every Boy Scout troop, you name it, we were recording high school football games. But when we got into what the FCC determined as responsibilities, we were really operating outside of what was our rights as a cable company. So we've been working, you know, we've got the PEG issue on the side, and we're still working to do that. One thing that's in here now, we are in a position to issue, once this is completed, if you look at Section 6, there's a grant that's going to come back to the city to reimburse you for some PEG equipment that was about 2 years ago and some wiring that needs to take place to allow that to happen. Our attorneys, and we work in silos, so the government affairs attorneys have worked with the sales attorneys, who's the attorneys that Malira had to deal with. So I think there's a negotiation going on there. We should be able to make every challenge possible with that, but we will give you, you know, the grant to help offset any costs that you had there. As far as the 621 issue, yeah, the maximum you can receive from a city, from a franchise agreement is 5%, and we've well exceeded that 5% for years, but we're not in a process to say, let's start disconnecting services. So we're going to have a transition to see how do we figure this out for the city. You know, this is my hometown. I grew up here, so we're not here to make enemies. We're here to find out how we make this thing go forward. So at some point, once the franchise is renewed, and I'll let you tell me when that may happen, then we've got a guy working with Nelvin that will look at what our complementary accounts are, and we'll start working toward a transition to see, do we convert some, I think there were some budgeting items that were some of the set-top boxes or DTAs have already been budgeted for. I know the budget was passed back in May, I believe, or early June. So those things in place. We just want to make sure we get this official document executed by both sides so we can all move forward.
All right, well, thank you. And I do want to take this opportunity as well to thank you all what you're doing for this, providing services for students and families here in the city of Birmingham as they've gone through the pandemic. And so I appreciate the support that you've given to our families.
You know, it was a real easy decision to make, and I know I'm joined here by AT&T. We all gave to teachers and students. Pandemic did not come with a handbook, and we did not know what to do. But we thought to do the right thing was the right thing to do. And I think we all did that to help students and kids out, okay?
Well, thank you.
All right,
appreciate it. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
And I'll second that. So we will forward this agreement on to the proper channels so that it can come before the council. Thank you very much.
I want to report, will this appear on next Tuesday's agenda?
Well, I see we have the mayor's staff over there.
Huh?
And so the answer, I'm not sure if our viewers, Mr. Mitchell, if you'll just repeat that.
Yes, according to Attorney Sheffield, there's some publication requirements that we have to do, and we want to present it to the Budget and Finance Committee on Monday. Budget and Finance Monday? Okay. So it seems like probably in the next 2-3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the latest.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, the next item is the Birmingham franchise agreement for ceasefire, and this is a fiber optics franchise agreement. And I will have to ask, we have Attorney Blankenship who is going to present this item to the council, and I believe he was going to call in or be made available through WebEx. And so I have to ask the PIO team if we've had Mr. Blankenship to call in to make this presentation. We have not, we do not have him available, and the city attorney, we prefer to, we could delay this item so that we could have that presentation. All right, and I will consider polling my counselors to see if they'd be available for a special call meeting to take this item up at that time. All right, thank you very much. All right, well, now we're up to the point of old business, and again, I am excited to see we have some of our team in the audience who we haven't seen for quite a while, and I'm just going to give them an opportunity now for our telecommunications industry members here if they would like to give a status of ongoing projects or COVID updates. I know I've already thanked Spectrum for what they've done, but I know each of you in your own organizations have responded to the needs of citizens and families. And as Mr. Smith said, we didn't have a playbook on this one, so I would like for you to share with the public what your company has done and how you've responded to COVID during this time. So we'll just start, and I'll go ahead and begin with Birmingham Waterworks. And Ms. Katie B., I'm going to let you announce yourself and tell us your role there at Birmingham Waterworks.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. My name is Katie Boston. I'm a public relations specialist with Birmingham Waterworks. Yes, this year, 2021, was coming at the end of the pandemic, or hopefully we hope it's the end. We started the year off with no rate increase for our service area. That was not a hard decision for our board to make and our management staff. We have been working with our customers with our H2O Foundation for those that need still relief in their bill payments. We're also working, I know we're working with the city and with the state with the funding that's available. We have it posted on our website. We've also put it out on our social media channels and in our newsletters. That is one of the initiatives that we really used for ourselves for 2021 was increasing communication to our customers. And we now have a monthly newsletter that is sent out. We have joined Nextdoor, so we can put communications regarding outages and planned projects going on with pipe relief, with infrastructure builds, and with payment, how they can pay their bills, we've changed our website. We updated that. We've got a new logo. We're trying to get new and get more out there and more engaged with our community. I think our initiatives that we have done, we changed them with COVID to be more virtual, but we have tried to now this year engage more with community and virtual, trying to do both. We started our Hydrate the City in June, where we did have our hydration pop-ups at public parks. We did that every Friday in the month of June, which we feel was very successful, and it was fun to actually be out and meeting people again. So that is a general rundown of what we've got going on. We're still working for the rest of the summer. We have a few more initiatives to come up with schools. We have a new program we're going to be launching in about a month that we will be sharing with all of y'all. You'll get these fun little goodie bags, and hopefully the community will enjoy it.
Well, thank you. And I do also want to thank your general manager who participated in our town hall meetings and webinars that we had to make residents aware of what was being done to assist them during this time of need. And so I appreciate the fact that he did join in and provide that information to our residents. So thank you all for everything you're doing at the Waterworks.
Well, thank you for including us.
Thank you. The next update, we'd like to ask for Ms. Terry Williams from AT&T. And hello, Terry, how are you?
Good afternoon. Terry Williams. I'm the regional manager for legislative and external affairs for AT&T Alabama. And I was just recognizing I haven't had a public speaking in a while, so I was like, am I nervous? So I'm just tickled to be here. It was great to see you guys convene last week. Here in the chambers. It's just notification of some normalcy that's coming back, and we're all ready for it. So virtual, yes, it was a great tool, but the relationships that we build with the city and any organization is just hand in hand in person, but we're glad we have those outlets to be able to continue to do business. I wanted to start with COVID. You talked a little bit about some of the things that my industry, including Spectrum and other providers that were doing some bill relief and whatnot. So as the months went on, of course, things started changing. There's a little bit back to normal business. We know that there's jobs available for people who want jobs and paying bills. But one thing that I do want the group to know From a federal level, the Federal Commission has, back in May, they released funds, and they've gone very quickly, but it was called the EBB Fund, which is Emergency Broadband. And what it does to those qualified residents, constituents that want to, they can receive up to $50 a month. And that can not only go to internet service at their home, but it can also go to devices that they need. And then there are just other outlets out there that do the same. I know a lot of local organizations are doing those. But we are a part of that program as well as our partners in the industry. So just trying to keep connected. Our company, I will say for the past, I've been with the company 18 years now, so I know at least for that time, we have had so many remote workers. And our challenge was a lot different than people that all of a sudden were working from home. But what we used that as was a really a great resource to let our business customers, our residents, know how to work in that type of environment. I mean, we have resources that tell you how to set up a home office. Just putting COVID into our att.com, there's just a resource of different things. And our company's been great about mental, very, very well-versed in everything in the past several months when it comes to that, or diversity, inclusion, which our company is very proud to be the #1 company to be being very inclusive with our employees and our workforce and our vendors. So I'd love to be a messenger to be able to tell what my company is doing in that. Okay, I would want to mention we're doing business as usual. We have a lot of dollars coming into the state, and there's been a lot of activity in Birmingham where we're just continuing to upgrade our services with fiber. Just had a crew finish up in Inslee. I've been out and about in alleys through Birmingham, catching our crews that are actually manning all of this, doing the technology to string fiber, bury fiber. So you'll have more information on that as that goes along. But that's to help with the digital divide and our homework gap. So federally, there's just so many eyes on dollars that are coming, to state and cities and counties if they want to use the American Relief Plan and those funds to use it towards broadband. And we are we're looking to partner and use that subsidy like we did 100 years ago when the phone service came out. We could not get out to the rural areas just even with the cost of a phone. So those federal subsidies helped. So that's why the broadband story is where it is. So it's even just in the past couple of months, the message that I'm giving, instead of just listening, I'm able to actually have some proactive things. And World Games, lots going on. Great announcement. We've got a lot of things behind the scene. You just announced today with broadcasting, and when you're broadcasting to all over the country, not just here, you've got to have an infrastructure to do that. So just know that AT&T is very involved with that and working those plans. And I will have one question for you guys, because we need to talk about the City Walk, because you'll have a lot of people there. We need to work on making sure that we are taking that type of traffic, or wireless, or whatever wireline it may be. The last thing, I gave it to you this morning. It's been out in the public, but we do have a job fair that is promoting some sales and communication specialists in our Hoover area. Like I said, it is a group of inclusive, diversity. We look for so many great things when it comes to employees. So if you could just get those out to the other counselors so they can let their districts know, that'll take place on Thursday.
Okay. And we will provide that information to our counselors, and also we'll be able to put that up on some of our social media sites so that we can be sure to get those jobs and out there available to residents. And that they can go out and seek that employment. So thank you. I do want to thank you on behalf of Councilor O'Quinn, he did pose a question a few months ago, and in his district, there was a lot of what looks like the big orange spools of cable, and it looked like projects that had been completed, those spools were there, and I know that you did look to see if some of that was AT&T equipment, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us what you found as far as when you went through and
Yeah, we get those different types of scenarios. It's funny, I was just speaking with Robert from Spectrum on that. You know, I got a call yesterday, and someone reported there was a low line, and, you know, if the call comes to me, I'll engage our network guys to go and check it out, and they'll check it out. They'll send me a message and say, hey, it's not us, it's cable, or hey, no, it's this or that. But we have, I would say, between us and the power companies across the state and our other, you know, cable providers that are all on these poles or in the ground, in the ground near us, that we have a networking of, hey, you've got this, we've checked it out, but we like to report back. Can't recall if it may have been cable TV.
It was cable
Okay,
TV.
okay. So we're all out there trying to grab those customers up while we can in the funding. So I'm just really glad to report that there's the funding that is coming to Alabama to just continue to fill those gaps.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the update, and it is, again, glad to see you in person.
Thank y'all.
you. And Mr. Smith, I didn't know if you had any other updates that you wanted to give from Spectrum. Okay, go ahead.
I'll be brief. We did want to let everyone know, just like AT&T, we talked about the pandemic, some numbers. During the pandemic, with everybody being either at home or spending more time at home, video usage went up 87%, looking at more videos. Wi-Fi broadband usage went up 120% because you're in the house all the time. Our request from small businesses to have their networks tightened went up because now there are more online orders, there are more Zoom meetings, so all that happened, and we're really glad to say that we never had a network failure. And that's a good thing to say with all that went on without that handbook that came with the pandemic. I do want to say one other thing. Next week, and I appreciate your help, we know school starts in Birmingham next week. So we chose the A.J. Gaston Boys and Girls Club to make a donation next Thursday. Council, you are welcome to attend. Next Thursday, 11 o'clock, we're making a $5,000 donation to the A.J. Gaston Boys and Girls Club. Pizza for all the kids, boxed lunches for the staff. We got a DJ coming for the kids, Kona ice for the kids. But we're also giving them 10 new laptops because they're going to need to create a learning lab out there. And we just want to make sure we're helping people that help people. And we know the A.J. Gaston Boys and Girls Club, they have a lot of people, a lot of kids. So I just want to let you know, next Thursday at 11 o'clock, if you're there, come and watch the kids have a good time and see some of the good things that we're trying to do at Spectrum. That's it.
Thank you. And I also want to thank you on behalf of the residents in District 7. We did have a report of cable down from trees that were blown down over the weekend. I believe that was on Park Avenue Southwest. And so we saw the collaboration between the power company, Public Works, and Spectrum to cordon off that area and try to contain it and, again, be sure there was no safety risk. So I want to thank you for the response that your team and the power company and Public Works made to assist the residents with that, because of course that can be very frightening when you see sparks coming down and the trees limbs falling. So thank you all.
All right, no problem. Glad to help.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Spire. We have Mr. Brian Rottenberg. So Rotenberry.
And that's not the first time I've been called.
I apologize. With a
No
name like
problem.
Wardine, I'm so used to people mispronouncing my name, so I apologize.
Not a problem. Well, thank you so much for being in person. It's been a long time. I want to give some updates a little bit about what I do. I'm Brian Rotenberry. I'm actually manager over the Pipeline Management Group. We do all the replacement work on our infrastructure and the lines that we're replacing throughout the city. But I do want to talk just a little bit about COVID. When COVID kind of kicked off, you know, nobody really kind of like Robert said, we really didn't have a playbook or anything to go by. But what we did know is we still had to serve our customers and the constituents in the city of Birmingham and everywhere we serve. Our field ops folks hit the ground running. They continued to answer calls of folks had issues with their gas appliances or anything that they had. We still answered those calls. Our workforce for the whole time has been out working, doing the same things basically they did before. They've just been taking those precautions. Even today, we still have, things in place, processes for our folks in the field. If they're actually at a resident's house and if there is somebody there that has COVID, we don't just disregard that call. We actually have suits that they wear to go inside and actually protect them and the customers as well. But we've continued to serve and do these things and hopefully work with I can't talk a lot about the billing part, but I know that we've been working with our customers on the situations where COVID has been a play in that. But our workforce, actually this week, yesterday, they actually started, our office personnel started going back to the offices, practicing social distancing still if they haven't been vaccinated. But we are still out there and committed to serve the customers of Birmingham and all the residents. Talking a little bit more in detail about projects, I have some of these. I'll actually give you these maps and just set them over here for you to have after the meeting. Two projects in particular. One we're just now starting here a couple of weeks ago. It's actually off 18th Street in Fountain Heights, right over here. We're working that along with the city of Birmingham and AlDOT. This is a part of the town that they actually want to do repaving. So we're actually in there now to try to get all of our utilities moved and everything relocated and replaced. That way, when actually the repaving takes place and hopefully early spring, all these things will be taken care of, so you're not having to go back and make utility cuts and repair roads after that. So that's a big plus for the city, working on that. And it started here about 2 weeks ago, and our goal will be to hopefully have it done by the end of November. That way the city and AlDOT can actually plan those things as well. The second project that'll kick off here probably at the middle of September is in Inslee, downtown Inslee. We know that there's a lot of revitalization that's supposed to take place in the next couple of years. So what we want to do is get that inside interior along 20th Street, 19th Street, and right there off Highway 269. We want to get all those lines replaced and have that all out of the way as things are being designed and developed in those areas. We've been doing a lot of work in Inslee outside of that scope, but this would be a good continuation on what we've already accomplished. So with that said, we're committed to continuing the work that we do. One of the things I did want to mention was some of the literature. We've talked about this in the past, and I've left it. One of the new things that Spire has done company-wide is on our projects that we do. So all the residents and constituents, if it ever had a premise or had a customer active at some point that we have a record of, we send these postcards, these oversized postcards out to all the residents and the people inside that before we ever go to the project. It just gives them a good opportunity to kind of see what's coming ahead of us. Mm-hmm. But then we again also leave our door hangers and try to make contact with our customers in person. So we're really committed to when we actually finish a project, we want to leave it in better shape than before we actually started. So with those things, we have a lot of work planned for next year. So as we keep meeting in person, as we hope, we'll have some good information to bring. And always, if there's stuff that you would like us to bring to the meeting in particular, please let us know. Izola does a great job, and congratulations on Izola being a new mom. We're excited for her, but as we go along, they have our contact information. If any of the customers have any questions or any concerns, we're always there to answer.
Well, thank you. And I also want to thank your president, your area president, that also participated in one of our town hall or webinars to bring more information to customers about the support that Spire was given during the pandemic and to ease some of the burden for the cost of utilities. So I want to thank him publicly and thank you on behalf of the company for that participation. It was very well received by the residents to learn that information.
Well, that's the good thing for having a good president in place. He is always visible and does such a great job representing Spire and all what we bring to the table as employees. So we're real fortunate, and thank you for those kind words.
And you did bring up something. I am happy to see the communication that your company makes and the coordination that we all want to see with utilities, because we spend, we have $10 million that's going towards road repair this year in our budget. And so it's very frustrating to residents when they see those roads repaired and then a utility does have to come back and tear up or patch that road. And I know there have been some instances of calls received in my office where they may not have been aware that that work was going to be done. So I just want to thank your company and other companies that are making that communication more feasible and make residents aware of when that disruption or when that work is going to happen. So thank you for going through that process.
And also, yes, with all the rain that we've been having, it's more than, the time for us to make sure that we're getting those things done in a timely manner. So if you see anything that needs our attention, please let us know.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And I'll be sure if I have any other comments or questions.
Yeah,
Mr.
Brian, thank you for being here. I have a question, and you can email me if you don't. I don't expect you to know everything off the top of your head, but on the pipeline replacement program on Montevallo Road that starts in the city limits of Mountain Brook and then goes through the city limits of Birmingham, do you have an update off the top of your head on that project? And then the second question is, what's the resurfacing plan on that?
Okay, the particular project is right on the edge of in Mountain Brook. We meet regular with those folks as well, with Sam Gadsden and his staff. That is actually the first phase of several phases, depending on which direction you're going. We actually have 2 lines we're replacing. That particular project we call Sheridan Drive. It actually should finish up in mid to late August.
Okay.
And at that point, we always coordinate those efforts with the city of Mountain Brook, and we'll have that resurfaced as well.
Okay.
So hopefully you've been driving that way. You've actually seen the.
Yeah, well, a very significant portion of that is actually in my district in the city of Birmingham. And while one side of the street is Mountain Brook, the street itself is our responsibility. Okay. And so my office has gotten a lot of email, just because people drive that way going home out east anyway. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to see what the resurfacing looked like for that.
It should be, shortly thereafter that. We have, when we put temporary patches down, it has like a 60-day settling period, and then after that, we'll resurface.
So are you guys actually resurfacing that, or is Mountain Brook and Birmingham?
It's a joint effort, I think, with Mountain Brook. Typically what we do is we kind of split that cost. I'll send you, if you want to, we can talk about it a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, I'd love to, because I noticed that section was on our resurfacing plan for this past budget. If y'all are splitting the cost on that, I'd love to get a little bit more information about that.
I'll send you an email, and we'll meet up and talk.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
I'm going to set these right here.
All right, we'll get those.
This is maps of the 2 projects we talked about in the areas.
Thank you very much. And Councilor Parker, thank you for joining us. We did have under our new business, we did go ahead and we've already voted on and discussed the Spectrum franchise agreement. I don't know if you had any questions or follow-up questions from your review. No. Okay. You'll get with them, Attorney Sheffield. Thank you. I do have just one outstanding item, is that we did not take action to delay the review of the C-Spire, so I believe we have to have a motion just that we're going to delay that item.
Okay, motion to delay.
Second, and so we will get back with the attorney and find out the dates, and I'm assuming that has publishing requirements as well. So we'll send that back through. And again, I will be working with the committee members if there is a need to have a special call meeting for that particular review. At this time, I would again like to thank everyone for joining us, and Mr. Williams, I think your big job is...
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.